I'm Nat Bennett, and this is Carolyn Taymor, and we're going to be recording a pairing session.
Hi,
Um,
I'm
we're gonna
Carolyn.
we're gonna try to build a little invoicing tool, because my invoicing process involves a lot of manual copying and pasting, and sometimes I do it wrong, and I'm tired of that. I want to be able to just type mix invoice and get a new one.
We also want to show a little bit about how we think about TDD. And
mhm.
we feel like there's a lot of projects out there that are sort of like token projects that are too simple to really give you a sense of how to think about TDD and really live it.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna try to demonstrate some some live TDD on some real code. Though we're gonna start with project setup.
Yep.
So we'll see how far we get. Yeah. If you go ahead and share your screen, I think we're gonna have you drive
Yep.
because I have more familiarity with Elixir and I know more about the project, which means that you should have commands of the equipment here.
Great. Agreed. All right. So we get started at the beginning. I don't have any Elixir stuff set up on my machine.
Yeah. So I think the first thing that we're gonna want to do is start creating the Git repository.
Sounds good.
Because of the way that I'm going to have you install Elixir.
Cool. The project, like the invoicing one, not
Yeah.
like a Elixir.
No,
Okay.
yeah, the project. Yeah. You'll see in a minute, so we can just name it like I don't know, invoice or invoice. I don't know, whatever you want to name it.
Yeah, invoicer.
Yeah. Nice verb.
Get in it.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
Right.
All right.
Okay. So the
Cool.
reason that I wanted to do this in a Git repository is that are you familiar with the tool ASDF?
Vaguely, but not well.
Yeah, so I want to use ASDF if you don't mind
Cool.
to install Elixir.
Cool. I'm just going over here. I'm gonna go to my Mac setup script. I like to install everything through my Brewfile.
Yeah.
Oh,
Setup
workspace.
scripts.
Z Mac. I keep doing tab. That's annoying. All right. Stop it. Mac. There we go. Then my Brewfile. All right. AS what? No, I have it here.
ASDF.
Cool. We're gonna call this command line utilities. That seems like a reasonable section for this.
Yeah, so
It's not an
ASDF.
Elixir thing, specific thing,
No,
right?
so ASDF, what ASDF is like RBN, but for everything.
Oh, I like it. Cool.
Yeah. No, it's very good. And it's useful for Elixir specifically because Elixir requires that you manage both your Elixir version and your Erlang version.
Cool.
And so rather than dealing with tools for installing those things separately and syncing them up, it's simpler if you just have your .tool-versions file and ASDF manages both of them for you.
I love it.
Yeah, sometimes Elixir packages will require a very specific Erlang version. This doesn't happen very often, but it happens to me a lot because I do things with telemetry that often have Erlang packages.
Makes sense. Yeah. So I'm just using Brew Bundle. I have scripts to do the whole thing, but I like update everything, but that would take too long.
Yeah.
Although apparently I haven't run them recently, given how much things are upgrading, but we'll just wait a moment.
Yeah, this is also why I like to
we?
use Brew Bundle. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, because it keeps everything reasonably up to date.
Yeah.
So I was going to wonder if while we're waiting, we should tell folks what our like sort of initial setup. We're going to set up the Git repo, set up some CI.
Yeah.
Make sure we have a place we can run some basic tests. And those will be, I think, our first steps, really.
Yeah, just because that stuff is really simple at the beginning and it gets harder as there's more stuff that those steps are doing. But when your CI is doing literally nothing, right? When you have no tests, it's relatively easy to know whether you set it up correctly.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't think it reloads this. We'll just open up a new shell and go to invoicer. Cool. All right. So we have ASDF. I'm gonna just close that other tab.
Yeah, and so I don't remember offhand exactly what. Well, we could start committing the things that install Erlang and Elixir, or we could do the GitHub part.
Let's set up the GitHub part so that we can just be like
Okay.
pushing stuff right away.
Yeah. I'm assuming you're comfortable just pushing this to GitHub and making this a public repo.
Yeah, sounds good. No, we're gonna stream all this code to you, but you can't go and look at the code.
Right. Yeah. That would be a strange thing to do.
I always make it in the UI and then pull it. So I forget if I initted it here, I can just make it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's
right,
like
then,
I mean, I went
just
and
pushed
had
to
you make the directory, but yeah, we can also pull it. Huh? Yeah.
Well, no, I was just thinking I always pull it, but then I'm like, there is a way to push the local directory up to GitHub and I forget and make it with that, but I just always forget.
Yeah.
Cool. Public. Always want to read.
Yeah.
Always want to git ignore. There's like a git ignore template.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have a git ignore for Elixir? What does that do?
Sure. Cool.
Sure.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
Choose a license. I don't know. Should always have a license.
I like an MIT license.
MIT,
yeah.
It's good. All right. Cool. Yeah. And then
yeah.
All right. So then I guess we'll pull this instead. But what else? All right. So I'm going to back up RM invoicer. Cool.
Fabulous.
All right. So you were saying there's some stuff we want to commit in terms of setting up Erlang and Elixir, which seems like a different pattern than a lot of languages where you're like committing, or maybe it's like your basic, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we could have done this. We could have done this in a different way, but like, I guess we could have installed Elixir and Erlang first, and that might have been reasonable.
This is fine too.
But I'm actually curious how well this will work, basically. So type asdf and just see what happens. That's too much. Let's try, yep, tldr asdf.
If you don't know about TLDR, Nat turned me onto this tool and it's delightful. It just gives you like, here are the 7 most common ways you probably want to use this command line tool.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we're going to need to, oh yeah. What is ASDF list all version? List all.
Erlang
yeah, we're going to have to do a little bit. Yeah. We're going to have to do a little bit of setup here.
Okay.
No H.
Oh. No.
Let's Google real quick. Like install Elixir ASDF.
Oh, ASDF. Sounds good. All right. Oh,
here we go.
Install Elixir using ASDF.
Yeah. Okay. Seems reasonable.
A note on versions. At the OTP version. Okay.
Yeah, OTP version. I forget what that stands for, but OTP is basically the Erlang runtime.
Okay.
Erlang is both a language, a spec, and a VM that implements that spec.
Okay. Fascinating. It's hard for me to wrap my head around that, and it's really interesting. All right. So we have to add the plugin for Erlang.
Right. Yeah. And you might want to do that in your,
What were you say?
You might want to do that in your
script.
workstation setup script. Yeah,
definitely. I just want to check if this was like the actual, like, this is the Elixir website, right? So I'm not just like copy pasting off some random person's blog post. All right. Yeah, that sounds good. So I'm just gonna go to, let's see, we'll just make no, not manual scripts. We should just be able to run this in scripts. And we're going to do this elixir.h. Hashbang. That's not the hashbang. User Bennett. User Bennett. Bash. Set all the usuals. Yeah, and these always run after I brew install, so that should be good.
Nice.
Let's go look at the instructions, see if there's some other steps. Before installing, make sure you follow the directions on the plugin page for your platform.
Oh,
Okay.
right, because Erlang is written in C.
Got it.
Yeah, we could also definitely like brew install this stuff. So this is a little bit like
I'm down. It's fun.
yeah, we're jumping ahead into the stuff that you would do, you know, once you'd learn the language, and like we're getting, but like you're starting to see why I want to do this through this tool, because you know, this relies on your C build environment.
All right, before ASDF install, we're on Mac OS X. Okay, I'm on 12 something.
Yeah.
So 22.3.1 is the earliest version being. Okay, so ASDF uses this curl, but not curl. That's confusing because you can't verbally articulate the difference.
Yeah.
Cool. Brew install autoconf.
Yeah.
And OpenSSL 1. Erlang doesn't support OpenSSL 3 yet. Okay, but you have to use 1. What about 2? OpenSSL 3. I guess OpenSSL. I don't even know. Whatever. Don't care. We're building with widgets. Do we care about the widgets? Observer, debugger. Those sound like good things.
Yeah, we might as well just try all 4 of these things. I think if we stick autoconf, we go back into our brew. Our brew file, it looks like.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I try and like organize this by
yeah, we might want
language
a setting
and concept.
up.
I think we need an Elixir setting.
Yep.
Elixir. All right, so we need autoconf, OpenSSL at 1.1, WX widgets, libxslt. Did I get that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And FOP. Oh, and I gotta actually do brew.
Are those separate things, or is FOP instructions to the brew install libxslt?
Oh, interesting. I usually assume if you have brew install a couple things, you're just installing the.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Yeah, that's probably what you're probably right.
All right. Cool. Here. This is where my Vim has gotten all rusty, and I'm like, I should just put this in Visual Mode and edit them all, but we're gonna just no, this is gonna take me forever, which is a little embarrassing on screen share, but that's okay.
Yeah, this is one of the things that makes pairing tough, right? Is that like everybody does this, but it's also awkward sometimes to be like, yep, I'm typing things out.
Yeah. And you're also like, I once had the key shortcut for this in my brain. So we're gonna brew bundle this.
Yeah, and hopefully this is gonna go well.
Yeah, and hopefully we won't get this OpenSSL issue.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's gonna happen when we install, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So it's really annoying that there's not like a table of contents here. I don't know. This is hard to navigate.
Yeah.
Your docs matter a lot.
Well, this is one of the things that I like about Brewfiles is that you can just show like this is what your Brewfile should look like, and then copy and paste the whole thing rather than writing out commands.
All right. So we were here. No, we were here.
Right.
Looking at how to install the directions for the plugin.
And
then the plugin was like, go do some other stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we just need to scroll up to the top. And then here's how we install it. And it doesn't tell me why we'd want to skip the Java dependency, but I think that was the thing that came up with the with the SSL error. Let's keep it with the Java dependency unless we run into problems, I guess.
That's reasonable to me. Yeah, I don't know what the Java dependency does.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna go back to our script over here.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just gonna chmod that. Scripts Elixir. Cool. And then we'll just run I do have a thing where it can like run all the scripts, but that's not
right. Yeah.
Right now. Cool.
Okay.
So now we should have the plugin.
Yeah.
I think what was that we had before? List all.
List all. Yeah.
Erlang.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Now we have the plugin. Fantastic. Okay. So we've got. Yeah. I don't know what version we're gonna want just yet. Is that in here, perhaps? If you don't have any specific project needs, then select the latest version. Sure, yeah. So it looks like 25.2.2.
Yeah. ASDF install Erlang 25.2.2.
Yeah.
Let's try. Okay, it's not a curl managed Erlang.
Okay. Should I be worried about that? I don't know.
I'm gonna not worry unless it like fails.
Oh, computers. That
bigger. Hide the other. So this is going to download the source and compile it. Yes, that will take some time. The final output will tell you how to set the Erlang version globally or locally.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a little confused by the set the version globally, locally. Like I will have just installed one version.
Right.
So what would it need to set it globally?
ASDF.
Let's say it should use that.
Yeah. So ASDF has shims. ASDF is like, I think it's, I forget if it's more like RBM or more like Truby. But it has, it's going to put some what is the thing? It's going to do some path stuff. And it can change those based on a file in a directory. So you can have a file tool-versions that sets the versions for your particular project, and then when you CD into those, the ASDF shims will update automatically.
Cool.
Which doesn't always succeed, and then you have to understand what it's doing under the hood to fix it.
So, I mean, this succeeded. Like,
yeah, looks good to me.
Looks green. It didn't give us this output, but we can just set ASDF local for this project.
Yeah. We're in the Mac setup.
Is the problem that we ASDF installed it here?
It shouldn't be. No. Okay. We've installed it universally. If I understand what we're doing correctly.
All right. Let's try it. ASDF local Erlang. The version we just did was 25.2.2.
Okay.
Erlang. Should I be able to do that now?
I don't know if you should be able to do that. Do we have anything in the directory now? Like if we ll or ls, yeah. ls-al. Okay, we don't have anything set. There we go. Tool-versions. Yeah, all right. Cool.
Erlang.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Cool. Delightful. Okay. And then now we want to install Elixir. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Let's get that plugin. Now we need to decide which version of Elixir to install.
We probably want to go back to the workspace repo. We probably want to do this part. I mean, we could do it locally. I don't know. It's up to you, basically. It's like how you want to manage your...
Everything goes in a script.
Yeah. This is how...
in a Brewfile.
Yeah. I mean, this is how I do my setup is I've got all the versions that are available universally, right? The plugins and the install steps.
Right. Oh, and I probably wanted to actually install.
Do the install here. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's find out if it's sensible and won't reinstall it, or if it's gonna be like, haha,
Yeah.
we're
Is
gonna
it
be obnoxious and not idempotent.
right? Yeah.
Find out. That's
Oh no. Is there a like I bet that I bet there's a flag you can add that will tell it if we get help on like asdf install plugin. What? That's
yeah, that's interesting. Like, who does that? What? Plugin add.
right.
There's no man page. That's okay.
Yeah, that surprises me. What
Oh, that was
what
not what
just
I
happened?
expected. Why are you downloading stuff when I do
What?
help? Clone the
Oh.
repo. That's
Huh.
alarming. That is
Huh.
not expected behavior. All right,
No.
we're gonna
Okay.
go to Google because I don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
Plugin add how do you spell it? Dem
I did. Yeah, there it is.
doesn't include.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. Um hmm. What I really want is like documentation for the install plugin or the plugin add. Like if we just do ASDF documentation, does that get us anything? Yeah.
Maybe
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
plugin.
No, I actually
No,
want reference. Yeah, because I don't want, yeah, core. Uh, and then install, update, reshim, installation and setup maybe. I'm looking for all commands actually on the left, all commands. Sorry, I'm giving you very specific.
you're good.
Oh, there's no,
There's
huh?
plugin add, which is different. Add a plugin from the plugin repo or add a Git repo as a plugin.
Okay. And then are there like,
That's just the like list commands command.
okay, this is
Seems
just
like
all the, yeah, okay. I want the documentation on the,
here.
yeah, add maybe.
Thank you. Super
Okay.
helpful. Zero flags. All right.
Okay, so is this, we were doing something called plugin dash add. What if we do plugin add and then the git? Yeah, is that like a different thing?
My guess is no, but let's find out. I mean, we can do the like catch
Yeah.
it and if it, but it's annoying.
Yeah. So we can also like set, we can unset, I
Minus
think it's
X.
E. We can unset E around it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, let's do it. I
Like
mean,
that's
yeah.
the dumbest way.
I don't want to
Yeah.
spend a long time
Right.
shaping this yak.
Yeah.
So
I'm surprised. Well, I don't want to like open up another screen and get distracted. But we could also look at what it is that I've got. Because I don't think I've run into this problem.
and you scripted it.
Yeah. I'm surprised. Okay, yeah. Great, huh? So that does seem
Cool.
to get all the way through.
All right. Annoying, but whatever. I don't care enough to really shape that yak.
Yeah.
I mean, we could dive down that rabbit hole and then we won't get what we want to get done.
Right.
Done.
This is incidentally an example of why you put set E at the top of that script by default. Just as an aside for the audience here, Bash by default just continues on if something fails. But as you may be familiar, often what you want is for a program to fail when it fails and not continue on in some sort of weird unknown state with unset values. So starting with set-e will make your bash script behave the way that you probably expect it to about failures, and then you can add that. You can wrap set plus e around things that you're okay if they fail.
Yep. All right, we're gonna focus in over here and figure out which version. List all Elixir. Okay, fair.
Oh,
because
second yeah.
No, because I think it hadn't been. This is an old shell.
This, yeah. Spelling issue also though.
Oh, okay. Well, it would help if I corrected it correctly. There we go.
Oh man.
Elixir.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, it returns a log list. This is true.
Yes.
The most important thing to note here is the version with the OTP 22 release added, except I think we need 25.
We need 25, right? Because we did 25. So we want, I think, that 1.14.3-OTP 25.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and so here exactly is where this is why I wanted to use ASDF because they have to interlock. And because managing your Erlang installation can be a little bit finicky because C build environment. So I wanted to do that. It's good to script.
Yeah. All right. Install the version. Why does it want me to wait? Okay, I think I have to install. All right. Install the matching version.
Yeah.
This is you might have to update it if you don't see it.
Right.
It's just like they've got their headers wrong. So I think we can just install it and then we'll check the version. Cool. And this we want to do in the Mac setup script again.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. All right.
Really speedy.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna want to set. We're gonna want to use it again.
Yeah.
So let's do that locally. ASDF local Elixir this version.
Okay.
And then -v. Not found.
Oh, do we need to reload the shell?
Yeah. What is it? Reload. There's a reload one, or I can just like make a new one. But...
Yeah, I don't remember how to do this.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
Elixir -v.
Oh, and you've got some snazzy command prompt stuff happening, huh?
I do.
Oh yeah, it knows about Elixir. It's using the Elixir logo.
Hilariously, it's using the Elixir logo, but not finding Elixir.
Okay.
So there's that. Let's look at the tool versions.
So something is aware that Elixir is here, but it's not your shell.
But it's gotta be, right?
Because the shell prompt.
The shell prompt has it.
Okay. This is going to be an amazing video.
This is fun.
This is going to be an amazing. How to install Elixir. Great. I love it. Fabulous. This is software engineering, right? Like fundamentally, this is what it is. Okay. Command not found Elixir.
But the shell prompt is finding it.
What does ASDF tell us about what it thinks like versions of things are?
ASDF.
Yeah.
Current?
Maybe list or yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay.
But it's just
ASDF is
looking at the tool
aware.
version.
Oh, sure. Sure. Okay. Okay.
So I'm wondering if it's like not shimming it right. Is that
Uh-huh.
the problem?
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to think too. So now we need to like understand a little bit. I actually want to pause momentarily and understand what does ASDF do when it shims in a version, right?
Okay.
And like look at, I assume that's going to involve looking at like the path, so like it's going to be messing about with the, oh, we might not have ASDF fully set up. We might not actually be doing the shimming. It occurs to me. Right? Like
Okay.
you might need something in your what's the, bash RC or whatever it is you've got,
Yeah.
your dot
Mhm.
files. So yeah, that would match.
That would make sense. So you download it and then you
Uh-huh.
install it
Yeah,
and
here we maybe. Yeah, bash and homebrew Mac OS.
add some
There it
stuff to your
is.
bash profile.
Yeah, there
All
it
right.
is.
Cool.
This is
So
great.
yeah.
We're showing all the things that you need to remember to do.
And how am I making that? I think it's in my dot files and I symlink them in my Z shell RC. That sounds right.
Nice. Yeah.
All right. Excuse the mess. It's a mess. Uh, so we are, oh, interesting. So I could, yeah, I could echo this in, and actually think I'd rather echo this in the
Sure.
AS, and the Elixir. Oh, but no, because this is ASDF,
Right.
not Elixir, and I
And
might use that for other things.
Echo, yeah, and Echo is going to be like, this is a one-time operation, so you would actually need to, like
Oh
if you're gonna
yeah,
do
no, I'd make it
this
mess.
repeatedly, you would have to do this with like sed or something. So yeah, probably what you
So
want is that line there.
yeah, and I want the brew prefix part, I think. Yeah. And this is going to be set up ASDF for managing versions of Elixir, Erlang, Elixir, and maybe other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I was introduced to ASDF through the Elixir community, because the Elixir community like just happens to be, I think, a combination of new enough and um it's, yeah, the Elixir community just appears to use ASDF as its thing, instead of having written its own tool for this. But yeah, I
I
use
like
this
it.
to do everything now.
Cool. I'm assuming that Bash and Z shell are the same, but they might actually not be.
Yeah, they usually are, unless they're not.
Okay, so this is the same,
Yeah, yeah.
or use a Z shell framework plugin like
Oh,
ASDF for
right.
all my ZA
Oh,
stuff.
yeah. Do you have Oh My ZH?
I don't think so. I think I was
Okay.
using. I'm trying to remember. Gosh, I like don't pay any attention. Yeah, I know. Quit bang. Don't
I
make them
mean, it'll
change.
be in the, you could just ag for like Oh My ZSH. It should be in your install script if you're, well, I guess it not, if you did it out of band. Anyway,
No, it would be in
yeah,
here. Yeah, I think I didn't do oh my ZH,
yeah.
because I try and keep it a little bit lighter weight.
Mm-hmm.
And it just felt like it was adding a lot. I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do
No, it
use
definitely
login, which
does.
is a ton, but
Yeah.
so for some reason it seems like this bash completion thing is not needed. Oh, because hold on a sec. Completions needed completions are configured either by a Z shell framework ASDF or will need to be configured as per homebrew's instructions. The oh my Z ASH plugin is yet to be updated.
Mm.
I don't really know what a Z shell framework is. I haven't.
Yeah. What is this configured as per homebrew's instructions? What? Okay.
I don't really understand how that extrapolates here. Or like how that
Make
goes to not extrapolate, that's not the right
homebrew's
word, but
completions.
is that completions for brew or is that completions for brew installed stuff?
I assume it's completions for brew installed stuff just because of what we're doing here.
But
Maybe
let's
not
make
though.
definitions for the brew command.
Okay, maybe we can ignore this and just try adding um that brew. Like what happens if we just run brew dash dash prefix ASDF in our shell? Like not the script or anything, just
Sure.
the thing that's in
Yeah.
the Yeah, okay, so that's just finding the yeah, so if we just put that line, right, from the dollar all the way to the end of asdf.sh,
Yeah.
if we just stick that in there, we could also go look at what asdf.sh is doing.
Yeah. I guess my main thing is like completions is a real nice thing to have.
Yeah.
Okay, setting up versions for Elixir and maybe other stuff. All right.
Yeah.
Just gonna confirm. Oops, no, do not give me. Okay. Uh, also not what I want. I'm pretty sure. Again, no. I keep hitting escape instead of tilde. My Z shell should be symlinked. Z shell,
Yeah.
she is symlinked there. All right,
Sure.
cool.
Yeah. Great.
Still need to reload the shell to make that take effect. But
Yeah, and
okay.
unfortunately, I do use Oh My ZSH, so I don't know.
Oh,
Oh, interesting. Huh.
we got errors when I open a new shell.
What? Why?
Change it so
Okay.
it does not perform console IO after the instant prompt preamble. Oh, I think I am using this P10K
Okay.
framework, maybe. Permission denied.
Okay. I mean, we can just chmod that.
Yeah, I'm kind of
I'm
curious to
surprised.
just check out and see if this P10K and Elixir, there's like a ASDF. Because I thought this was a theme, not a full framework, but um all right, this was a while ago. I've added ASDF prompt segment to power level. This is annoying. I mean, it can be like delightful to dive down these rabbit holes, but I really
Yeah.
was hoping not to today.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can just go chmod that file, but
Uh-huh.
I want to understand how it's supposed to be installed here.
Right. Yeah. I'm really surprised that we're getting a permission denied. I'm surprised that
Yeah,
that file is not. I guess we could check like what the permissions are on it in the first place. I'm surprised that
I'm
Brew
also,
would have done that though, basically.
yeah,
Like
I'm
AS
wondering.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Just ASDF SH, like the whole point of this is that it should be executable. Um
Yeah, um, yeah, let's look.
yeah, what do we got? What do we got there?
Not executable.
Nothing. No,
Very
nobody can
strange.
execute it. That's
Very
weird.
weird. Yeah. That is weird. Also, they have like a separate one for fish and new and
Huh.
elf.
Yeah.
Interesting. One question I'm wondering is, right, ASDF stuff was talking about frameworks, and I don't know if this power level 10K is a framework or a theme. Just kind of look gonna
Yeah,
Google
what is
versus
that?
theme,
I've
like,
never heard of this concept of a ZSH framework.
yeah. Okay. Visual frameworks. Collection frameworks are just collections of well-written plugins and themes. And I think Power 10K is a theme, not. I probably should have
Yeah.
just used Oh My ZSH, but I was grumpy about it.
Yeah, I mean that's reasonable. There's I mean, did you see the what that link was saying about Oh My ZSH? It just opens up with like, yeah,
Right. Yeah. It was just like a lot, and I try and keep my build a little leaner that now.
right, yeah,
Not my
yeah.
Neoben build,
But this looks like it has some alternatives for like zippier
yeah.
ones, which might be worth looking into.
Yeah. Apparently today is fix Carolyn's shell build instead of write an invoicer, but maybe we'll
Yeah, it
get to it.
happens.
It happens to the best of us. Interesting. You can use Zim as a plugin manager to pull in modules from other projects. This is just one person's opinions.
Right.
Oh. And you know what this really makes me think of is, why didn't I have ADRs for this? Because I try and have ADRs. Oh, wait, architecture decision records. Why did I decide these things? But oh, hey, I wrote down which repo is my draw show block because I'm always forgetting it.
Nice.
Okay, so if it's just a collection of plugins, I should be able to install a plugin without Z shell.
In theory, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't really understand. We can take a look at like what the plugin does if there's a specific plugin that we're trying to get to.
It doesn't need a plugin manager.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, sure. Sure.
Okay. So we just need the ASDF plugin. And
Yeah, let's go take a
it.
look at what that thing is doing.
Where was that? About here?
Mm-hmm.
ASDF framework plugin like ASDF for Oh My Z shell.
Yeah, so if we take a look at that ASDF plugin.z shell, there's the file there.
Where it should be installed. If it's not found, check for stuff. So a lot of this is just like how did you install it, and then load the like it's just loading it.
Yep.
What does the dot do here? Is that just executing it, even though it's got a space between it?
I don't know. I don't know what starting with a dot does.
Let's see if Shell Explainer can tell us. Explain shell. Command language.
Okay.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. I think we can probably, do we want to be sourcing these or just in here? It's just, oh wait, look, here they have a dot too.
Oh, I wonder if that's our problem with the, yeah, let's try putting a dot in.
Yeah,
I wonder if that explains the executability issue. Oh, you've got dots in here.
I already have them. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I clearly copied
Okay.
something else.
This is the kind of stuff I don't know what your stance is on the AI, but this is the kind of thing that I use ChatGPT for the most. Is like, what does this do, or explain this like weird bash thing? In part because it's really easy to validate bash explanations. Like it's really cheap to just run things and see if they do what the thing says it's going to do.
Yeah,
And yeah, so I use that to search, to essentially search man pages now.
interesting. Yeah, I'm very, very skeptical, critical, whatever. But all right. Okay. And then if we do Elixir, if I can spell it.
Hey.
Ah! All right. Let's see
Okay.
if we can just get these bash completion bits too. Because my guess is I can just use the bash stuff, even though it's C#. I mean, I know that's slightly different, but probably. So if we do brew prefix asdf, and then um, all right, so it's in the same spot. We have it.
Yeah.
Just go for that. Over here, right? Max setup. Yeah. Dot. We'll just copy again.
And copy. We also need the dot.
Yeah, I put the dot.
Okay, great. You've already got that. All right.
Yeah. Ha! Well, maybe interesting. I was doing some tabbing.
All right.
Let's find out.
Nice.
All right. So I'm going to close some of these other windows. Okay. We have Elixir.
All right. And we have 2 commits that we can make now.
Cool. Cleaning up after the change. I feel like that sounds like menarche. The change.
Yeah.
Or menopause. The change.
Yeah.
It's a good idea to do this whenever you change your active Elixir or Erlang versions. Mix, do, cleanup, compile. I don't know what that is. What is this mix thing?
Okay, mix is like rake, but for Elixir.
Oh, okay, cool.
And one of the coolest things about Elixir, and here I'm going to turn into, oh yeah, we need a mix project.
Cool. We'll get that later. We'll just start by checking.
Yeah, we need to actually, yeah. So one of the coolest things about Elixir is that a bunch of stuff is like built into the language that other languages are like, oh, you have to know, like you have to be in the know to get the right one of these. With the like most extreme example, Java, right? Like Java has a bunch of different build tools that you can use. And so if you know Gradle, for instance, and then you move to a Maven project, you're like, okay, I have to relearn all of this stuff. And Elixir just comes straight out of the box with its task runner and build tool mix, and it's just like, this is the one that we use. This is the Elixir one. So cool. I like that about it. Is that it gets a lot of just like kind of fiddly bits kind of out of the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a we have our first commit to this project. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think we should add them together.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Looks good. Great.
Alrighty. Cool. Great. So we have a basic project. We
Mm-hmm.
have Elixir installed. Do we
Yeah.
want to write like a, you know, silly nonsense true is true test and then run that CI, or you want to set up CI before we have any tests at all?
Let's actually set up the project with Mix.
Okay,
And let's see if I remember how to
cool.
do that. Well, let's just like what happens if you TLDR Mix actually? Um,
Create a new project.
yeah, and I think it's gonna want to be invoicer and then dot because we already made the no, sorry, separate argument. Because we
Same
already
here.
made the yeah. Otherwise it will create a new yeah, here we go. Yes, great.
But we have invoicer inside of invoicer. Do we want that?
Oh no, we don't want that. Let's go up a level then.
But it
Well, we
put
want
the
to, sorry, we need the RM, RF, the invoicer inside of invoicer.
okay. Yeah, okay. So I'm in the first level invoicer and
Yeah,
I'm an RMRF, the invoicer that it just made.
right. Yeah,
And then we're gonna go up a level.
yeah.
We're gonna go mix
If we just
new
do mix new
invoicer.
invoicer here, yeah, I want to see what that does. Um, Interesting. Okay. Uh, right. Okay. Did we
Mix
make,
new.
yeah,
I don't think so.
did we make anything? We didn't make anything?
No, because it errored.
Oh,
Did not
okay.
make anything. I mean, I assume so. We can cd into invoicer and see. No.
Yeah. So let's
If we
just
do
look at
mix
like,
new help,
yeah.
I'm
It's
sorry,
like mix
what?
help new, maybe? Yeah, there
Yeah.
we go. You always have to guess. Yeah, we don't want any of this stuff about modules, apps, umbrellas, etc. We want, oh, the path is the first argument. So we want mix dot, yeah, yeah,
Sure, we'll overwrite the read.
yeah,
Yeah, we can
yeah.
overwrite the git ignore.
Right. And yeah, so this
Great.
is one of the things that I love about Elixir is that when you start a new project, it's like, here's a README, here's a git ignore, here's a test. We have tests now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great.
Right. It's just like all the defaults.
So we'll check everything in.
Yeah.
I'm curious what this readme says. To do, add a description. Here's how you install it. Cool. All right. Mix and it.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect.
All right. Now on to CI
Yeah.
or more setup.
Yeah, let's run mix test here locally and you can see what it's done. All right, one doc test. Yeah, you can. Let's actually just like go look at what that test is real quick. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so we've made a module and we've made just sort of a scaffold test. So yeah, now we can go into
Okay.
CI and set that up.
Cool. What do you want to do for CI? Do we want to do like GitHub Actions or some other like
I was
traversy?
thinking just GitHub Actions.
Cool.
And we can do that as part of like I can also move it over to my account if you don't want the actions runs in your account.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, we've got it set
What
up
about
by default.
allowing them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we just need to write the code for the actions, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And there actually
It's been a little
should
bit.
be a if we go into actions actually.
Right here.
No, up at the top. Code issues pull requests and then actions at the yeah, there we
Actions.
go. mean, not the top, but like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Configure.
That looks perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Elixir, on push, on pull request, run main. Read permission, build and test, runs on latest Ubuntu, set up Elixir.
Ooh, different
Restore the
OTP versions
dependencies
than the ones
cache.
we're using.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great.
Yeah.
Let's see. We are.
It's kind of obnoxious that this is like not reading them out of a tool.versions, but like that's, yeah. I mean, it's fine.
It's still pretty great that they set it up.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused by them only having, oh, okay, because so like we can define any level of OTP version required here.
Yeah.
We can just be like OTP 25 because that's what our Elixir requires.
And this should be fine for now. And it actually should be, given what this thing is, it should be basically fine. Yeah. Okay.
Looks good to me. To start. Yeah.
Yep. Um, yeah. 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 Looks reasonable. Okay. Fabulous.
And that one is now running.
Mm-hmm.
I don't find GitHub Actions at all intuitive, but I do
No.
like that they've made it so easy to get them set up. Oh, good. Tried to map a target OS from the environment. Got Ubuntu
What?
22. If you're using a self-hosted runner, try one of the following. It doesn't include Ubuntu 22.
What?
A little confused. Who's trying to do this? Is this?
Yeah, what happens if we just Google this error message?
Yeah. Tried and true.
Okay, but we're not using a self-hosted runner. Oh my God.
It looks like maybe we need to be setting the OS image variable, except we're just like,
Okay, yeah, let's just try setting that. We shouldn't need to, but
yeah, all
sure.
right.
This is the world that we've built for ourselves. So. Oh, they're asking for feedback, are they? Okay, yeah.
So where do we want to set this? Not self-hosted workflow using environment variable.
Right. There's something about and
wait, okay. GitHub Actions, Ubuntu 22 is now generally available on GitHub hosted runners. Yeah, we were just using latest.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Let's go back and look at like what we were, right. Runs on Ubuntu latest. What was the error message that you were getting?
Just wondering that myself.
Yeah. I'm also kind of curious what happens if we just rerun that action again.
Sure. Is there a like manually run thing? Or just need to like
I think we need to click on, if we click into the workflow, Elixir CI, yeah, there. And then, no, okay. Right, okay.
Rerun jobs.
Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Enable debug logging.
Sure.
Always. I mean, not always, but when something fails.
Yeah, I will be like kind of worried if this succeeds. Because that doesn't seem like it should be a thing that would be an intermittent failure, but yeah, okay, great. Okay.
Cool.
Tried to map a target OS from, and then look what exact. Okay. And then where exactly did this fail? This failed in setup Elixir. Okay. And we've got that on our right side here. Okay.
So this is some Erlang setup beam
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Right. Oh, and it's like a very specific version of it too.
Yeah, it was like a specific commit, right?
Uh-huh.
This action sets up an Erlang OTP environment for using GitHub Actions. And so this is really where we want to be wondering about this, like target
Right. Yeah.
OS. Target OS error.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm,
Oh.
that sounds
Oh.
actually okay.
Okay, so let's try that and image OS Ubuntu 20. Like it's troubling to me that this is necessary from a GitHub
Agreed.
Actions perspective, but yeah, there we go.
And we were trying to run on 22, so
Yeah.
let's try that.
Okay.
Add image R for elixirs for okay, so that'll trigger a new run. Let's see what happens. Exact same error.
Let's try setting it to 20.
All right, yeah, because 20 is when it's
Yeah.
there. All right.
It's really surprising to me that we're getting, yeah.
It's really surprising to you that we're getting what?
Surprising to me that we're getting this error. Um,
Given we clicked the button.
yeah, well, given that we're not using a self-hosted runner, and this is an issue where if you use Ubuntu latest, then you might get a more recent version than your runner has available. But maybe Ubuntu latest isn't doing what. Oh, yeah, okay. Ubuntu latest isn't providing what it claims to be providing. Well,
Mhm.
okay. Well, yeah.
All right.
Um, yeah, so that's a problem where there's some sort of node, something or other in that GitHub action. Um, what?
Yeah,
Okay, sure. So these are all problems with
the runner,
the the runner or
action.
the action that we're using, which is reasonable. Like this is a really cheap and easy way to get started.
Yeah,
Um,
but I
but
think
it
we can just
does,
ignore these for right
yeah,
now
we can
because
ignore those
they'd
for right
be
now.
fixed with PRs to set up Beam, which
Right.
is not our
Yeah.
goal today.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
Okay.
we
So
have
we've got
CI
CI.
and
Yeah.
it ran some tests
Yeah.
and they passed.
Okay.
Hooray. Okay.
All right.
I'm just going to pull down those changes.
Yeah.
So, how are you? Where are you at? Should we write a
Yeah.
first real test?
Um, yeah, well,
You
we
want
need
a
to think
break?
a little bit about like I'm good for another like half an hour probably. We need to think a little bit about like what we're gonna do next. So ultimately I want the output here to be like a mix task. So we write like mix invoice and then get an invoice. And what I want that task to do is take an HTML, a template, whether that's literally a template or whether that's like scaffolding code that then we generate the HTML in the process. And then run that into a PDF. So I'm just thinking about like what it makes sense to test because I don't think it makes sense to test to assert on the contents of that PDF file.
No.
Because that's basically just testing whether the PDF part of it works. And like just a lot of work for relatively little benefit.
How does the like testing around mix work? Like, can we write a test about a mix action, or is it more of like we should test the thing that mix runs? I feel like if I was writing a rake task, I would test the thing that rake runs, but I wouldn't test the rake task per se.
Right. Yeah. I think that's gonna be. Yeah. I think that's what it's going to be is we're going to have a mixed task that does basically two things. It calls something else that generates HTML, and then it feeds that HTML into the PDFifier.
Sorry, brain squirrels. Can you say that again?
Yeah, I think we're going to have a mixed task that basically does two things. First, it's going to call out to something else, some other function, basically, that provides the HTML, and then it's going to feed that HTML into a function that converts the HTML into a PDF.
Okay.
So yeah, we could do one of two things next, basically. We could write the mix task scaffold, basically, and write the mix task that like just takes some basic HTML, takes some sort of stub HTML and feeds it into the PDF, and then like test that basically by running it. Or we could, since we know roughly what that's going to look like, start by writing a test for the HTML generation part, which is the part that's actually going to need testing.
Yeah. I feel like it might be easier to write the HTML to PDF thing when it's a stub and not doing
Okay.
anything, because otherwise later debugging will be a little harder in terms of like what's breaking.
Sure.
Is it
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
else? Whereas like we can have a like header hello world that translates and then we can, feel okay about that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so yeah, let's see. Do I remember how to write? Let's just like Google like writing a mixed task. Yeah, there we go. We've created an application. Yeah, let's keep going. We've got a function, mixed tasks. There we go. Yeah. So this is the first thing that we're going to do here is
in the mix folder in lib.
Uh-huh.
Defining a module in mix tasks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can use the like, right? Like when we're thinking about TDD, it's not all automated. Like we can have our test be running the mix task for this bit.
Yeah, so I think the first thing, like my inclination is to have the first thing that we do be like make a file at hello, well not hello, it's going to be invoicer lib mix tasks invoice.ex.
Okay.
And start with that, just doing that IO, but instead of doing hello say, I do like IO puts made an invoice, and obviously we didn't make an invoice, but that'll confirm that we've got the mixed task like shell working.
Sounds good. I'm gonna pull up IntelliJ.
All right. And it's also an opportunity to show off a little bit of this documentation stuff.
Which documentation stuff?
Do you see those at module doc and at short doc invocations?
Yeah.
So those are going to get read by like Mix. Those are the documentation that will pop up when you ask like Mix for help about the task, basically.
Cool. I'm just opening IntelliJ in the other screen, so I'm not sharing code that I didn't want to share.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So we are going to make lib. Interesting. So we already have this invoicer.
Right. Yeah. So this is the module. This is the actual like the code module. And what we want is
we want to make a mix.
Yeah, we want a directory, I think. Yeah.
Looks like we need a tasks inside that. And then we want a new file, invoice.
We're very much going outside in here.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's install the Elixir plugin. That sounds good. Okay. All right. And yeah, just for the audience, I think it might be interesting to say like one of the reasons I think that, right, normally I would switch off driving a lot more, but Nat knows a lot more about Elixir.
Yeah.
And so having the person who knows a lot more do the navigating and the person who knows a lot less do the driving is a really fabulous teaching method, because then I get the experience in my hands and there's no chance that Nat's just dragging me along like wild horses and I have no idea what's going on, because the words are not getting typed if I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, you have to actually understand what I'm saying for us to make progress, which is great. It's a great forcing function.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then we're going to do like def module, mix tasks, invoice, I guess. And especially in this situation where I'm also like the PM. Yeah. Okay. So how do we want like the hello mix task, mix help hello? I guess we want just like the invoice mix task.
So this is okay. So this is the module documentation. And is this where is this going to show up? Like, is this some of the usage on the task, or is this just like showing up here, or is this rendering somewhere?
I believe this is going to render, and we can, I believe that this is going to render when we run like mix invoice help. But we can also leave this off for now and wait until we,
Mix invoice seems like a reasonable place to start.
Yeah.
You were gonna say we could leave it off.
We could leave it off and like add it once we've seen where it should go.
Sure.
But yeah, Elixir has this convention of putting documentation in line and then having tools automatically, like Mix has some sort of capability around automatically picking this stuff up, I think. Though this is like module doc stuff, I don't know entirely how this all works. Anyway, we are going to want use mix task because that's going to bring in.
So we need to require it even though we're in that module. Or we're in the tasks module.
Yes. Yeah, because this is bringing in. Yeah, we're in mix tasks. I don't know exactly what it is that invocation is doing, but yeah, in general, we have to be very explicit about what we're importing.
Makes sense. Better than magic about it. So I'm assuming that because the task is called invoice, then we just have run here. And you were saying we want to do IO puts, you were saying?
Yeah. If you see up there, up at the very top of the screen. Yeah.
Right. Because we're not calling a function. We don't have a function.
Yeah, we don't even have a function to call yet. Yeah. And just like something to be like,
pretend making an invoice.
Yeah. And then, yeah, that stuff all looks right.
So then we should be able to just come here and run mix invoice. Pretend making an invoice.
Hey, yeah. And so what happens if we type mix help invoice?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, great. Cool. Yeah.
Good. So
Yeah,
this feels
so
like,
yeah.
I
Yep.
was gonna say this is a
Good.
good place to make a tiny commit of like,
Yeah,
we have a
totally.
little, yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, we have beginnings.
I'm gonna make two actually. I'm gonna add the idea directory to the git ignore.
Sure. Yeah, I don't use idea, so it will
Yeah.
not help me. I'm kind of a Morlock and I use Vim for everything.
I used to, and then I got out of it on a team that was like half Vim, half
Yeah.
IntelliJ, and I haven't invested in moving back to it, but I would like to.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of yaks in my current sorry, I was typing one thing and saying another thing. There's a lot of yaks in my current Vim setup, and so I just haven't gotten around to it. Okay, I'm resaying this because I want to commit the git ignore first. Status git. And yep. All right, so here we are. Here I feel like is where like a more interesting commit message is vaguely worth it. Add the invoice mix task. Currently, it doesn't much. We're using mix to run. Using running mix on the command line. Test. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Fantastic. Yeah.
we have a basic mix task.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to want to have a couple of functions here that it's linking together.
Yeah.
You were saying.
Right. Yeah. So let's go into. Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is using. We could have also done invoice.say, I think. I'm not 100% sure about that. Like we have some sort of function in our module.
I think it's called invoicer.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, okay. Yeah, it's on. That's
So we
something on
could do
another one.
invoicer.hello.
Yeah. Though I don't think that'll do anything on the command line. Do you see that IEX there?
Yeah.
That's the REPL. So that's saying that like if you call this in the REPL, it's going to return a symbol called world. They're not called symbols in Mix, they're called something else, but like that's what they are. And but yeah, we could actually move that like
Move this in to the other.
yeah, I bet if we did like invoicer.say, yeah, we could have invoicer.say do, although there we're going to need to write a test because I think we have a test. We have a test for invoicer.say. Yeah. Or we have an
Yeah,
invoicer
well, let's
for
do that.
hello. Yeah, let's write a yeah. Yeah, let's do that. And this is just to get a handle on like how to write tests in this project.
Right.
Because this is like we're testing something that we're not going to end up. Yeah, right. Yeah, so we want to test here that something like pretends to make an invoice.
And do we want hello here or we want
let's write a new one, I think. Yeah.
I think so. Test so let's see. So this is right now what we're doing is we're just outputting basic strings, but eventually this is going to output HTML.
Right. Yeah.
So let's call this maybe test.
Oh yeah, sure. We can make it more realistic.
Would this be like a generate function, like generate HTML, generate invoice?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Get
like
template.
oh yeah, you're thinking about like what are we gonna name the function?
Mhm.
Yeah. Uh Make an HTML invoice?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Invoicer dot
Yeah, you're thinking like generate or like get. Yeah. Sure,
yeah,
yeah.
I
Get
don't know.
HTML. Yeah.
Easily changeable later, but
Yep.
so we have this like equals thing. I guess we can just put our string here for now.
Yeah. Yep.
Or do we want to, yeah. So
I mean, at this point, we could even
can
make it
maybe,
like, well, yeah, whatever you want to do, but like we could, yeah, pretend to make an invoice is fine for now. Tiny, tiny steps. We could also make it just like the
yeah,
smallest possible HTML, but we can also do that next. And we're gonna need a do
yeah.
at the end of line 9.
Thank you.
Yeah, there we go.
Great. Okay, cool. This could have spaces here. Cool. So then let us, oh, there's probably, I can probably run them in the IDE, but if you're not using IntelliJ and stuff, let's just run them here.
Yeah.
We can just run a mix test.
Hello.
Undefined
Yeah.
error.
Okay, we don't have anything.
That's what we expected. So what I'm going to do, and actually, all right, this isn't necessarily perfect setup on one screen, but it'll work. So we're going to define the function def get HTML invoice do and that should be everything we need to change what error we're getting.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
All right.
There we go. Now we're getting a different error. We expect it to be returning fake invoice.
Yeah.
Run them
All
again.
Right. You know Elixir now.
All right. We wrote our first test.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, and then let's actually use it.
So then here, so we don't, it looked like in the documentation they weren't importing the hello library. It just kind of automatically
Yeah, it
got
looks
added.
like it's just there. Yeah.
We're just calling our hello module and it like finds it automatically. So we can call this the invoicer.
Yeah, and we're going to need to put that inside the IO.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because we've just changed the value. We haven't and that's actually something that I kind of want to keep incidentally.
That we're doing the printing in the mix.
Or it's IO puts. Yeah. Yeah. That we're doing the IO in the mix task. You know, if we have a reason to hide that IO inside of a function, we can do that. But right now it's just like really, this is a habit that I picked up from Go, basically. But it's also like, I guess the hexagonal architecture thing where, yeah, all the plugging in is happening in the main function.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and this time we'll run our mix invoice.
It also makes our tests a lot simpler, right? Because we don't have to
much better. We're not dealing with IO and stuff.
Right. Yeah, we don't have to read. We don't have to deal with reading from standard out.
Cool. So that matches my expectation. I didn't state the expectation out loud.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what we expected to see. Okay, so this is a commit.
I agree. And then this will be fun. We can show the audience. Now our test will run in CI. All right, what do we do in this commit? We add the task. No, we already did that. Here we add the invoice method and we start calling our invoicer module.
We like add the stub of a method to make some HTML.
Yeah. add the stub. Oops. Yeah, add the stub and use it. That's too long in here. Okay, so I'm gonna add it here. Add the HTML generation stub and use that in the mix task.
Yeah.
This is maybe start integrating module into mix task.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll push that up. We can go over to GitHub, and in GitHub Actions, we'll see that our tests are running. Oh, look, our add the invoice mix task passed, but that didn't have our test.
Hey.
So, and this is what's nice about doing your CI first. It's like now it's just running and it's just there.
It's just there. Yeah.
Run tests. 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
perfect.
Lovely. Excellent.
All right. Cool.
And those tests are still pretty. Ooh, yeah, those are nice and zippy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
All right. I'm coming off of working with TypeScript and Jest.
Not so zippy.
No, and I use Jest because it's the thing, right? It's the documented standard thing. But 10 seconds minimum runtime. And I'm just sitting there being like, how do you people live like this? But
Yep.
My standards are high.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of infrastructure stuff. So I'm like, ooh, I got feedback in 45 minutes.
Right? Yeah.
We could have a whole other chat sometime about test speed. We have a lot to say,
yeah. Okay, and we want to get to so let's now add the PDF part.
Sounds good.
So let's go and Google that Elixir PDF generation. Yeah.
You had a specific one in mind, right?
I think it's that top one should work fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have, this is the kind of thing that because of the way that this application is structured, it's going to be really easy to change it later. So if we have to change it.
True. And this is that WK.
Yep, it's still using that WK HTML. Yeah, all that C goodness there. Man, if I was gonna get really crazy, I would write one of these things in Rust. Okay.
So why
is this like generating a PDF is exactly the kind of thing where I expect to see a really old C project that's just like, this is the thing that you use, and I'm like, yes, I see that, and I'm like, yes, this is what I want. Okay.
So there's a bunch of stuff here that I'm like, I don't really understand. Like in IXE, you were saying that was the interpreter. HPDF generate is your friend, but we're not in there. And then we're defining some applications, and then there's this define private method.
Define private method. Yes. Yeah. So this is how. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna learn a little bit about Elixir dependencies. So this is talking about what to add to your mix.exs file.
Yeah, which is what.
Yeah, if we go over back into IntelliJ at the very bottom, yeah, there it is. So this is the way that Mix does dependencies. Is it's a EXS, I think, stands for Elixir script. So like the .ex files get compiled, but the EXS is a script file. I think I'm not 100% sure about that. Don't quote me on it. But basically we specify our project configuration as a script that's written in Elixir.
Okay.
And yeah, so this is the scaffold one, and so we need to add in here. Yeah, so def is a public method. Def p I think is a private method, and we add wait, hang on, we have to add, okay, yes.
This is, it says
for that's for old versions. Yes. Okay. I can explain why that might be in there, but we can do that in a moment once we've just gotten the dependency in there. Yeah.
Cool. So I think we just add that, and then I don't really want to necessarily run
Yeah, we don't
with
need to get,
locally installed Chromium or
yeah.
um
Yeah, so at this point, I think we can just run mixed deps, I think, and it will get the new dependency for us. Oh yeah, we do need to install Hex. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yep, they're telling us to do that. Yep. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
so now we should be able to try it out.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec. This is all right, I don't know. Um
Yeah. So now we should be able to, oh man, we do this from files. Okay. This is maybe not what I thought we were. Well, it's fine. Can I do this from just an HTML? I don't want to do this from a file name. I don't want to have to write to a file. I want. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. I think.
it looks like we can just put HTML in.
Great. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's try it.
Okay, cool.
Um
And it's gonna write out to a file name. Great, perfect.
what are you erroring about? Runtime exceptions. I wasn't even doing anything, IntelliJ.
Oh.
Flip it out. I
Hmm.
don't know. All right, let's try
What a
this out.
troublesome piece of software. Yeah, okay.
Let's try this out in what was it? IEX.
Yeah.
IEX. What is this -s mix part?
Yeah, so that's saying to run it in the environment defined by the mix file. I don't know, I don't forget I forget exactly what -S does, but it basically means okay. Oh, sure. We need to now install what can yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. That sounds like that goes in the Brewfile. It isn't actually just that, but
Right, yeah.
bundle, not allowed brew bundle and brew files.
Yeah, right.
It's unreadable. We're installing it anyways.
Okay. How do we install? Well, how do we install this thing then? Oh no.
Oh,
Oh
good.
no.
With ports.
Okay. Okay, great. Oh dear. Yeah, okay. Amazing.
Okay.
Sure. Right. Okay.
Yeah, download a precompiled binary or build from
Right.
source.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna just
Yep.
go for it. I'm not gonna put it in my much of a cult it because I don't know that I'm really gonna use it very much.
Yeah, that's totally reasonable. This is exactly how I expect this kind of thing to need to be installed.
Yeah, and like
Okay. Right.
we're gonna say okay.
This nonsense.
Oh, good.
No, yeah, it's stopping you.
No, I think it's stopping me because I think it's uh
There's maybe a way to like command. Okay, right.
wait, you think it was stopping me because I don't know, I didn't need to download it again. Oh, it's like flat out stopping me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this part is I'm wondering if this has to do with being on an Apple chip.
Oh, you're on an M1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
like if it was last released 2020.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yes. Okay.
Software. We spend half of our time wrestling with trying to make the computers do anything, and 1/8 of our time actually writing code.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, there's definitely ways around that, but they're
Let's see if there's,
obnoxious.
yeah.
Yeah. Is there a way that we can do this? Yeah. What's going on there? I think
I
this
don't
is
know what PDF
probably
kit is. Same library.
okay. Yeah. It's still, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So I suspect that we're going to be able to do the um HTML generation stuff on your system, but that if we wanted to test this part locally, need to have we would need to shove this in Docker basically and get like a Linux environment.
Yeah, I think that's probably likely. Why don't we focus on the HTML stuff,
Yeah.
write some tests for that, and
Mm-hmm.
then it'll be lunchtime, and we
Yep.
can always do another session
Yep.
later if
Yeah.
we want and folks are
Yep.
interested.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna, and this is why lots of little commits are great.
Yeah.
We're just gonna walk that back.
Yep. We're not going to do any of this nonsense. Yeah. Great.
All right,
Perfect.
hooray.
Okay.
Instead, we're gonna write some tests.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's make this actually HTML.
Yeah, is there like an HTML type here, or we're just like, I don't know a lot about this invoicing. I mean, here it's like,
Yeah. We can probably actually make some assertions that it like is valid HTML.
okay,
Um,
I was just gonna Google for like Elixir assertion
yeah.
docs.
Yeah. I think we've probably got some nice assertions in here. XUnit, like what are the Oh, this is assertions. This is a different
This is in hex docs. Is the
yeah,
problem.
let's go. What does XUnit give us just out right out the box? Yeah. Yeah, this is the default stuff. Okay. Raise, receive, catch errors, sure. Okay, that's
Nothing specifically HTML here.
yeah, that's fine. Um, yeah, and so I'm actually inclined not to try to. I mean, we could go looking for like some HTML specific matchers, but let's also just like let's just Google Elixir HTML, see what that gets us.
I'm not sure really what you're looking for here. Like, are you looking for
Yeah.
docs on generating HTML in an Elixir?
Um,
Um,
oh, templating languages. Okay. Yeah, I'm just like looking for how to make assertions about the contents of an HTML document.
all right.
But like honestly, we don't even need we can just make assertions that like it matches a literal HTML string.
It's true. Let's see what these are.
Um
This is somebody's library that's asserting it's HTML. And so introducing assertions.
yeah, sure.
Sounds like there's like a bunch of different assertions libraries that folks have written that we could add in, but they're
Yeah.
not like a standard one.
Um oh, this is nice though. Yeah. Okay. It's snazzy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's, Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah,
It's got a grand total of 17 stars. Not
sure.
particularly well used, but could work for us for here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Adds XUnit assert helpers for testing rendered HTML using CS as selectors. Sure, that seems reasonable for
Yeah.
this. How do we include it? Usage. Use assert HTML, but I assume I have to like, yeah, put
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And then we can just use it in our test, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to use assert HTML. And
Yeah.
then we're going to assert HTML. So I see it's like Ruby, and that you have a lot of like parentheses optional and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Elixir is very Ruby influenced.
So hold on, I'm trying to figure out like it seems like we're like piping stuff around or something here.
Yeah. So that's a really common pattern in Elixir. And yeah, that is the pipe. This is similar to like dot chaining in Ruby.
Okay.
Where assert HTML, like HTML response, basically that pipe, I think, takes the output of the previous thing and provides it as the first argument to the next thing,
That
is
makes sense right here.
basically
They're
what's
having like
happening.
HTML.
Uh-huh, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So presumably we might say that our first argument here is our function, and then we want
Mm-hmm.
to assert that has a title that says invoice, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Doesn't look like something.
Yeah. Why is it mad? Are there like do we need,
Commas.
yeah, we need commas, I think. So it knows that these are distinct. Yeah, there we go.
All right, let's run this test.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you need to get the dependency. Okay. Uh oh, did we not?
No, it's a capitalization error,
Okay, yeah, great.
which I love when you provide me what do you think it was?
Yeah, the error
Ellen,
messages here are
title,
usually pretty good.
not found.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, well, let's just like put that in like raw.
All right.
All right, huh?
That feels like a nice little commit.
Yeah, it does.
Cool.
Yeah, then finally, can we add me to that GitHub project?
Yes. We shall do that.
So I might continue working on this later this week. The next thing that I need to do on this is, edit and post the video.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna stop screen sharing for a sec.
Yeah.
And I mean, not that All right. Not that the app code is sensitive, but just can fumble without everyone watching me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fascinating. There we go. All right. Collaborators, add people. Are you Nota Bennett?
I think I'm NJ Bennett on GitHub.
NJ Bennett. Cool. Invited you.
All right. Fabulous.
Cool.
Yeah,
Is
so
there
I think
any?
that's a good place to wrap up. Sorry, you were saying.
Oh, I was just gonna say, ask if there's anything we wanted to say in wrapping up.
Yeah. Let's see. What did we get done? We got test set up, we got Elixir installed, we got the GitHub project started, and we got the scaffolding set up. We discovered that it's hard to install the tool that I wanted to use to generate PDFs out of HTML on M1 Max, so might need to do a little bit of research into that.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess if you are watching this, you can follow me on I'm Nat at ruby.social on Mastodon. I'm also found at simplermachines.com. There's an R in there. It's my website. And Caroline, I don't know if you've got social
Yeah.
media stuff.
Yeah, you can find me at ctaymor at hackyderm.io, whatever kind of like notes or whatever this has. I'll type that in. Also, you can find me at tech.taymor.io.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll do more of them. And let us know what kinds of stuff you would want to see us, pair on, huh? Because, setting up a Elixir project is fun, but I'm sure there's other things that folks would like to see us tackle. So,
Yeah. All
uh,
right.
yeah, and have a good day. Thank you, Carolyn,
Have a
for
good
working on
day.
this.